So I had to authenticate against the server, otherwise I can't do a query. What it does, it just brings you back to the result just like before. And I can put that whole string in here again with the fields, let's say source address, destination address. I hope I was able to spell, yes. So here you see all the source and destination addresses. The blank lines in between are events where there was no source and destination address. What I can do now, you take this result, pipe it into awk, do some magic here. Tab. You basically want to change this format into some CSV. Oh, almost. I can't write awk today. Yeah, you get the idea. Not sure why this is not right. Yeah, let's leave it as an exercise. I think the field separator is wrong here, but yeah, it does work more or less. So now you have it CSV, and you pump this into Afterglow, and you visualize it. You can process it even more. You can do a grep on it, and whatever you want, right? I think you get the idea. All right, so let's go back to the presentation. It's funny, I have a screen over here that shows me the time. Now it doesn't. It says need to clear room for Deputy Prime Minister. So here for your reference, these are the commands again. You'll find them on the slide if you want to play with this. It actually has the right awk syntax also. So let's actually talk about inside a thread now.
Sorry, can I just have a quick interruption?
Please.
I got to explain the signage. Basically, I know Mr. Marty is supposed to actually end at 6, and we just wanted to let you know that the Deputy Prime Minister is actually coming into the hotel, and we've got fresh instructions to clear the room 20 minutes earlier, 15 minutes earlier.
So I have to hurry up like really, really a lot?
Kinda, and out of our hands sort of thing, so.
All right, let's see what I can do. It's not my fault, it's good. Okay, I talked fast. Current or former employees or contractor who? This is the definition I found on the cert.org website. Now, let's not do this. It's no fun. But I can explain it. And you know what an insider is, right? It's someone that does something that he's not really supposed to do. And usually the person is inside of the company, so he has legitimate access to those things. Inside a threat, you can partition into 3 bigger kind of types. There's information leaks. Basically, anytime any important information belonging to the company is leaving it, right? Intellectual property, blueprints, source code. Source code is a good one. Sabotage is if someone destroys something. And this doesn't have to be like really necessarily physically smashing a computer. It can be that there's a logical bomb destroying data. There's all war stories that you probably know about cron jobs to delete things, whatnot. Fraud is anything dealing with misuse or abuse of privileges to, or you get it. You do trickery, you basically, you play normally on the application layer somewhere, usually has to do with money. There's all kinds of fraud, real estate fraud, tax fraud. There's discovered my roommate is a certified fraud examiner, and he has this handbook. It's like literally this thick, and it's all about types of fraud. I started looking at him like, this is great. This is a super manual for being malicious and committing some fraud. It's amazing. So what is interesting, there's some studies out there. The really good one is from CERT that I quoted here, that basically talk about the types or the people that are behind this insider threat. And what is very interesting, a lot of times before they actually become active, they do some reconnaissance. So it's barely ever that an insider just goes and spam, and here's the fraud I commit, or here's my sabotage, whatever. They usually start looking around first and get a little more comfortable and want to know what they do. So based on that, what you can do is you can set up precursors. So things, detectors, they're called in some research paper I read. Basically things you want to look for that might indicate someone either already committing or doing something he's not supposed to do, or possibly indicating he will be doing that. And now this I can use to define an insider detection process. So this is something I propose to do. There's no product out there that does this. You can go off and do this on your own. There will be a lot of questions you have. The first one is, you need to build this list of precursors. What is that list? Well, I don't know. I can give you examples. For example, if people start looking at Monster.com, job websites, Dice.com, whatever, are they really, like, why would they do this? Is this normal? Either they're looking for a new job themselves, or they're looking what's out in the industry, but a lot of times it's probably not normal. Maybe your HR department does them, and they post jobs on those sites, but probably not for everyone, right? You might see large emails going to public webmail accounts. Well, there might be documents someone is sending out. There's a ton of things you can look for. Printing, for example, look for printer file names if they have resume in them. Maybe someone is printing his resume. Well, it might also be the hiring manager printing out the resume of this guy he's going to interview. So there's always two sides, but they are potential precursors to someone doing something. Well, now, the second step is assign scores to these precursors, right? So someone just going to Monster.com, I give it a 1 on a scale from 1 to 10. But a salesperson accessing patent filings, not normal at all. I'm giving this a 10. So you play with the scores, you assign them, and then the next thing you do is you apply these precursors on log files or on the data you have. So I look for someone looking for password crackers in Google, right? Why does someone need a password cracker? So I'm going to put this user on a watch list, for example. So then what you do is all these people you put in a graph. This is not much data at all here. This is just maybe 24 events here. But what you start seeing is all the light nodes are the users, the green nodes are the precursors that triggered, and now you start seeing patterns. And I group them together with the red markers to show which ones are probably the same role in the company, right? Engineering versus sales versus finance. Well, the interesting thing is now, if you know what role they have in the company, you can superimpose that here and color the nodes by that. So suddenly you see that this one engineer, Greg, was accessing source code, which he probably should if he's an engineer, if he wants to do any work. But he also accessed patent filings and customer data. Engineers should hardly ever deal with patent filings. You should not read patents, maybe patent filings, but not public patent applications of other companies, because if you start reading them and you start doing something similar, they can claim you looked at their work and that falls under the patent, whatever. So there's something not really